The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
Hi everybody, welcome to the latest episode of the SCU Show. I'm your host, SCU. I know it's been a while since I've done a show, and I know people are probably, well, you missed my voice, I'm sure. I know I do. I've missed doing the show, you know. This is the top thing I want to do in my life is the radio. So I think I should be doing most is podcasting. But as of right now, the big chapter in my life is videos. It's reporting. It's all this different stuff. So that's what I've been focusing on. I got rid of my website around 125.com because I'm just getting away from that now. I'm done with the writing. There was too much for me. I didn't want to put in too much effort into something that I was just like, okay, I'm not even going to do this for my life. Like, this is not going to be me. This is something I'm not going to be doing with my life. So I just said, okay, I'm done. And after 3 months, it's over. But that's okay because my other website, InsideTheReader.org, will be doing video, reporting, podcasting, all this good stuff starting in 2018. I can't wait for it. But for now, we start the latest episode of the SCU Show. We're talking about some baseball. And I know a lot of people think, oh, why are you talking about baseball? Well, if you've been paying attention to baseball, you would know why. The Yankees just got the best guy in baseball, Giancarlo Stanton. And I feel like nobody can stop them now. There is absolutely nobody can stop the Yankees. I can't tell you how much I love this move by the Yankees getting Giancarlo Stanton, the best guy in baseball. It's such a great move. It is a very, very good move for the Yankees. Very good. It's not good. I don't think it's a good move for baseball because now the Yankees are just going to be much more dominant than most teams. But as a Yankee fan, I love the move. And as a Yankees organization, they should also love the move. It's a great move. You got the best guy in baseball to go against not go against him. You pair him with the second best guy in baseball, Aaron Judge. Now the Yankees look absolutely unstoppable. You have Aaron Judge, you have Giancarlo Stanton, you have Gary Sanchez, Jacoby Ellsbury still there. Mashas, I'm just going to say his last name, Tanaka. I don't know his first name. Tanaka's numbers going to go up the next year because they were pretty down in 2017, so they're going to go up next year. Very excited for that. And then, you know, the Yankees are just going to dominate. It's going to be great. Absolutely beautiful. I can't wait. I said this last year before the season started. I had the Yankees and the Nationals in the World Series. And I was that close. Nationals lost in 5 games in the NLDS, and the Yankees lost Game 7 of the World Series and the ALCS. So both teams came very, very close to the World Series, like I predicted. They should have been in the World Series last year. This year, I don't remember what I said on my early 2018 projections things. But now that I'm looking at it, I'm pretty sure I said the Astros. But now looking at the Yankees, the Astros are no challenge to the Yankees. And they're the biggest challenge to the Yankees. So that says something. The fact that the Astros are the biggest challenge to the Yankees in the American League, and they're not even much of a challenge anymore. Before I get into that, though, I want to talk about I've already given the AL East crown. They've already won the American League East. I mean, it's obvious. I'm not blasting the Red Sox. They have good players. They really do. They have talent on that team. But the Yankees' talent is just way too much for the Red Sox to go up against. The Yankees are going to win the season series, and that is how they're going to win the AL East. It's not going to be very close either. Like I say, the Yankees have so much talent. It's insane how much talent the Yankees have. So crazy how much talent they have. It's going to be... I mean, teams are going to not want to play the Yankees. They'll be like, why are we playing the Yankees? I don't want to play the Yankees. But then again, but it's going to be New York and Boston. That's how it's always been. I thought it was going to be into next season. Because Tampa, Toronto, and Baltimore are nowhere near these two teams in talent. And the Orioles are shopping Manny Machado last I saw. He might have headed to Philadelphia to play with the Phillies. And at Tampa, they're just so out of it. It's crazy. And Toronto's not much of competition either. Even with Bautista, Josh Donaldson. They're not going to be able to compete with the Yankees or the Red Sox. And the Red Sox will be able to compete with the Yankees. So there's that. That's the AL East right there. Yankees are going to win it going away. And then you look at the rest of the American League. Because we've already given them the AL East crown. What about the AL pennant? Like I said, the Astros look good. I mean, they won the World Series last year. They've got to be... Everyone's going to expect them to do well next year after winning the World Series over the Dodgers, mind you. Beat the Dodgers. A young team in the Astros beat the Dodgers, who have such talent. Like the Yankees. Like the Red Sox. So everyone's going to be like, oh, watch out for the Astros. I'm telling you, forget it. Jose Altuve, great season last year. But if Aaron Judge didn't have those strikeouts, I'd say now he would have won the AL MVP. He should have won the AL MVP. But after the All-Star break, he really went down in numbers. He set a record for strikeouts in a season. Big reason why he didn't win anything. Big reason why. That night, Altuve did really well at the All-Star break. That was the big thing. Don't expect that next year. Don't expect it. The Yankee, Aaron Judge is going to... Clearly he's not going to strike out as much as he did last year. And then he's going to have bigger numbers in home runs. He's not going to hit 53 like he did in 2017. But he's going to come close to 40 home runs. And Giancarlo Stanton is also going to come close to 40 home runs. If not, reach over 40. It's going to be home run hitting machines in New York. Can't wait. It's going to be very awesome to watch. I do have the Astros winning the AL West, but I just don't see them doing as well as the team as they did last year. Clearly, because I don't think they're going to win the World Series. And that's just the AL. The Astros are the biggest competition to the Yankees in the AL. The NL is a big different story because there's just so much. There's just so much competition in the NL. You never know who's going to play them. Half of the National League can claim the pennant, really. The Nationals, the Dodgers, the Cubs, the Diamondbacks, the Rockies, and I throw Milwaukee in there. So I can't give you a prediction on who the Yankees will play in the World Series. I can just tell you, behind the talent that they have, such as Stanton and Judge and Sanchez and Tanaka, the Yankees are going to win the AL pennant. I mean, who's going to stop them at this point? Who will stop the Yankees? Nobody. Nobody's going to stop the Yankees. They look unstoppable. Very happy to have Giancarlo Stanton in New York. As I'm sure all Yankees fans are. Mets fans, not so much. That's a different story for a different time. So there's that. So I want to switch over now to college football. And of course, I got to talk about the college football playoff, right? Because that's one big thing I missed since not doing a show. I haven't done a show in a while, so I missed the college football playoff and talking about that. I've been talking about on the kickoff when I have been on that show. Check that out every week on WCNO.com as well. But I haven't talked about it much on this show. And for the first time, since the first time, the college football playoff got it right. Like, they got the 4 teams right. Last year, I was upset because I didn't like that they had Washington in there. I felt Washington was an overrated team. Sure, they won that conference and everything, but I felt they were very overrated. And the year before that was Michigan State. I really didn't like Michigan State in the playoff because I felt like they only got in because Blake O'Neal, the Michigan punter, fumbled the snap. All he had to do was punt the ball away. Michigan wins. They go to the Big Ten title game. Unfortunately, he fumbled the snap. It was picked up by Michigan State, returned for a touchdown for the win as time expired. And that got him spot in the Big Ten title game, which they beat Iowa, which got them spot in the playoff. Had Blake O'Neal not fumbled that snap against Michigan State, the Spartans would never made the playoff. I really didn't like that pick. I feel like that was very bad by the committee. Really wrong. Really bad pick right there. But this year, they got it absolutely right. I love every pick they have in this top 4 this year. They had Clemson at 1, Oklahoma at 2, Georgia at 3, and Alabama at 4. I love it. Clemson, last year, they struggled. They almost lost to Troy. They lost to Pitt in November, mind you. So that was that. There's that. And they still got in. I was a little iffy on that, but I was like, okay, whatever. I mean, Deshaun Watson, Dabo Swinney, that team was pretty good. This year, they didn't struggle much. Kelly Bryant did pretty well. He beat the big teams. Like, he went into Louisville, knocked off Lamar Jackson. They beat Auburn, which is the SEC runner-up. Who beat Georgia and Alabama, by the way. And were very much consideration for the playoff. And they had a lot of key wins over Miami. I mean, Miami's a very good team. Clemson just ran them out of the water in the ACC title game. Oklahoma's the best team in college football. If I was part of the committee, I would put them at number 1. Baker Mayfield, best player in college football, led the best team in college football. The only reason I feel that the committee didn't put Oklahoma at 1, because they would look real stupid if they didn't put the defending national champions and the ACC champions at 1. That would look really dumb. Especially because the Sooners didn't make it to the playoff last year. So just imagine if they were number 1 over the defending champions and the ACC champions in Clemson. I feel like that's the only reason that Clemson was 1 and Oklahoma was 2. Georgia at 3, well, they're the SEC champions. And they did what they did this year. They did it with a freshman quarterback. If you could do that well with a freshman quarterback and win your conference, you don't undoubtedly belong in the top 4. And Alabama's Alabama. You can't not put Alabama in the top 4. That's just something everybody should do. Like that was just obvious that Alabama had to be in the top 4. Absolutely undeniably obvious. And everyone wants to make the case that Ohio State should have made it in. Yeah, Ohio State should have made it in. Unfortunately, Ohio State lost by 31 points to Iowa. That was the icing on the cake. They could win the big title, which they did. All that good stuff. But they couldn't beat Iowa. 31-point loss to Iowa. That's what kills them. That was the icing on the cake. That's why they're not in the playoff. Of course, they did get a good game. You'll play USC in the Cotton Bowl. It's a very good, exciting game. But they're not going to play in the playoff this year. Better look next year. Don't lose to Iowa. I think that's all it is. You don't lose to Iowa, you're in the playoff. As simple as that, but they couldn't do it. So Clemson at 1, Oklahoma at 2, Georgia at 3, and Alabama at 4. Perfect. Great pick by the College Bowl Playoff Committee. They got it right for the first time since the first time. And I really don't remember how I felt about the first time when Florida State, Oregon, Alabama, and Ohio State made it. I really don't remember how I felt about that. I want to switch over now to the NFL. And I'm not going to talk about Carson Wentz just yet. I'm going to transition to Carson Wentz. We're talking about how there is absolutely no team in the NFC that we could just say, okay, they're going to go to the Super Bowl. There's no other team. I mean, it's not like the AFC. The AFC is run by the Patriots, and the Steelers, well, they're good, but then they beat the Patriots, and they get themselves whopped. They get destroyed by the Patriots. The NFC, absolutely wide open. I can name several teams that could play the Patriots in Super Bowl 52. It's insane. And one of them includes the Eagles, even without Carson Wentz, but we'll get to that in a second. I want to talk about this first. Rams, Eagles, Vikings, Panthers, and I throw the Saints in there, are all of equal talent of one another. And then you look at their head-to-heads. They've all beaten each other, too. But I'll get to that in a second as well. As I was saying, Eagles are flying high. Carson Wentz, before his injury, now the season's over, set team record for 33 touchdowns. I think they'll be fine without him. Excuse me. If you remember back in 2013, Nick Foles took over the team from Michael Vick when he was injured. 8-2 record. Next year, He had won the starting job for the Eagles. Halfway through this season, 6-2. Then he breaks his collarbone in a game in Houston, and that's it. Had he not broke his collarbone, this wouldn't be a problem. Had he not broken his collarbone, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about, oh, Nick Foles can't do this. We would have known Nick Foles was the man. Heck, if Nick Foles had broken his collarbone in 2014, he might still be the man. He might still be in Philadelphia. Oh, he's in Philadelphia now, but he might still be the starter. He might have been the starter the past few years, instead of them drafting Carson Wentz. Second overall 2016 NFL draft. But I feel like they're going to do very good without him, without Carson Wentz. And even if it's not because of Nick Foles, it's because the defense has stepped up so much this year. It's because Alshon Jeffrey and Nelson Aguilar are having a great season. J.J. has been a great addition since he was traded from Miami to Philadelphia. That is why Eagles are going to fly regardless of Wentz being injured now for the year. Case Keenum for the Vikings has played like he did at Houston, at the University of Houston. You know, he was setting school NCAA records at Houston. He's looking like that kind of quarterback again in Minnesota. It's kind of like a reborn redemption type of deal. He hadn't done well in Houston, he didn't do well in Los Angeles. Now he's in Minnesota, taking over for Sam Bradford, who's overrated anyway and doesn't deserve a starting job. And he's just dominating. He's just doing so well with it. He's running with it. He has the Vikings on top of the NFC North. They can win the North with the win next week. I don't even know who they play. But with the win next week, the Vikings win the NFC North. That's how good they are under Case Keenum. Cam Newton showing what he's made of. In Carolina, he has had such a bounce back season from what he had last year. And Devin Funch has become the receiver that everyone hoped he would out of Michigan. Especially now that Kelvin Benjamin's gone and he's in Buffalo. Devin Funch has stepped up big time. Cam Newton is playing like a good quarterback again. So that's good for the Panthers. That's why the Panthers are up there. The Rams have done... What a turnaround by the Rams. Sean McVay and Wade Phillips have turned that team around. Of course, Todd Gurley doing well. This all helps. But Jared Goff is the big surprise in Los Angeles. I've always found him overrated. I feel like he does not belong as starting quarterback. He started as a third-string quarterback under Jeff Fisher. Now he's a starter and he's doing so well under Sean McVay. That's the coaching. That's not the quarterback. He's doing well because his coach is well. Hopefully they can keep it up. Because they're doing well. And like I said, the head-to-head. The Vikings beat the Rams. But the Rams beat the Saints. The Saints beat the Panthers twice. And the Panthers beat the Vikings. The only thing we have not seen yet is the Eagles and the Vikings. I don't think we're going to see that until the playoffs. So, you see that these teams beat each other. The top teams beat each other. That tells you how strong the NFC is right now. Like, you don't know who's going to win it. You just don't know. It is wide open right now. Absolutely wide open, the NFC. I know there's two teams that I'm looking at where it's a little too late for them. And unfortunately, one of those teams is the Dallas Cowboys. A little too late for the Cowboys. I mean, Zeke's gone. 3-game losing streak. That's what killed them. That is what killed them. If they hadn't lost 3 in a row, scoring 22 points in the last 3 games, in those 3 games, which they lost, they would be very much in the wild card race. They're in the hunt right now, but they're very deep in the wild card hunt. They're very on the outside looking in. Not good. So if I'm the Cowboys, I'm just okay. Let's just focus on 2018 now. Worry about the draft. Having Zeke back next year, Dak's numbers are going to go back up. They can have a much better year next year with Zeke back and what they can have on offense. Ryan Switcher's even doing well. I'm very impressed with what Ryan Switcher's doing. He's finally doing something in the special teams game. So that's a good sign. And the other team I'm talking about is the Green Bay Packers. They lost Aaron Rodgers, and they lost their funk. It was like, oh, no Rodgers, big problem. Yeah, they beat the Browns. Like, that's okay. They beat the Bucks. Okay. So? 2 mediocre teams. I'm very disappointed in the Bucks, by the way. I thought they would be a 11-5 team like the Giants. But they're officially limited to playoff contention, and the Browns are winless. So there's nothing to celebrate here with the Packers beat the Browns and Bucks. Again, another team deep in the playoff hunt. It's just too late. Time to look forward to 2018. Rodgers will be back, and that team's going back to the playoffs, back to being NFC North champions. Because let's face it, with Aaron Rodgers under the helm, who's going to beat them? If Aaron Rodgers was still there, the Vikings would be the same team. Like, they would lose because of the head-to-head with the Packers, and the Packers would be just as good as them. Unfortunately for the... Yeah, so like I said, Packers and the Cowboys, it's time to look forward to 2018. Drop 2017. It's over with. It's done with. Maybe season's over. That's it. That's it. It's over. Done. As a Cowboy fan, I hate to say it, but hey. It's true. It's true. So, recap the show. Giancarlo Stanton to the Yankees makes them AL champions by far. And my friend, my colleague, Eric Esteve will argue with me that the Astros are going to do well next year, but they're not going to do as well as they did last year in 2017. Jose Altuve's numbers will be down, and that team's just going down the downward spiral. That means they'll win the West, they'll make the playoffs, but that's it. They're not going to the World Series. Bring it on. Bring on another ALCS with the Yankees and Astros. I would love to see it. The college football playoff got it right for the first time since the first time, with Oklahoma, Alabama, Clemson, and Georgia as top 4 teams. Great pick, I love it. All 4 teams belong for their own reasons. And there's no team that could... I mean, we all know the Patriots are going to the Super Bowl. Like, after their very slow start, they've just been the Patriots all over again. So we know they're going back to the Super Bowl, but we don't know who they're going to play because the NFC teams beat each other. Let alone figure out who's the best. We don't know who's the best because the best beat each other. We'll just have to see and wait and see. And then the Eagles lost the big one with Carson Wentz. They're down, but they're not out. Packers and Cowboys on the other hand, yeah, they're out. So that's going to do it here for the SCU show. I want to thank you all for listening. We're listening at W2Mnet.com, iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, Google Play, or wherever W2Net podcasts are available. I'm your host, SCU, and you have been listening to the SCU show.
The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.